We got so good with those BB guns, shooting the apples and birds. They got away, you know. They were dumb enough to stay there. They're up in birds. But yeah, me and Scotty were what you'd call dead eyes. He'd pick one out and you'd have to go underneath the tree and look up the tree, you know, like some people did at Christmas time, you know, look up the tree. See if you can get that one right in the middle. And I swear to God, he hit it. You never thought he'd make it, but he did it.
Hey, Uncle Mike, or Uncle Johnny, do you remember when you and Uncle Marty came home from Vietnam? You lived with us for a while.
Yeah.
And I can remember being in our middle of our living room one time, and you and Uncle Marty telling Scott, punch me as hard as you can. And I can remember saying, no, you can't do that. And you guys tortured him until he punched you both in the stomach as hard as he could. And I remember being devastated. And then you guys, you know, afterwards beat the crap out of him.
Punching.
Oh, yeah.
It was all love.
Oh, yeah.
Some of us remember the love, some of us remember the
I remember what Scotty said at Virginia Beach, because Scotty came out and said it was like living with the Lord of the Flies. Those boys running around wild after Lorraine would drop them off, and I said, oh yeah.
But the thing is, I remember asking Scott, after I hear all these stories, you know, about my Johnny and my younger brothers, and I'd say, well, Scott, how come you didn't tell me? How come you didn't tell me that they were doing this to you? And he said, well, Mom, if I would have told you, you would never let me go back. So he loved it. He loved it.
He loved the abuse from the men.
They also had a very high
Pain balance.
electrical tower.
Oh, my God, I remember one.
You've probably seen them around.
The
They're
ones
just
behind Denny's.
made out of iron. There's no, you know, it's just a structural tower, but it's about 200 feet high. And
Behind the house, Grandma's house.
we were only 6, 7, 8 years old. And we climbed all the way up to the top. Nobody was going to back down. Now, we didn't know until years later that if we would have just touched one of those wires, we would have been like a potato chip. We would have cried. But we didn't know. You know? And I know many times I almost grabbed it. I know many times I was that close to it. And that's, you know, that's not the power that turns on your transistor radio. That's the power that kills.
Weren't you afraid your children were going to grow up and do something like that?
They didn't have to know about it. My family knew how to shut up.
That's why we made all the 4 and 6-year-olds leave.
Well, if your children ever do anything, you know where it came from.
I remember Ma coming out to the back door and, you know, looking up and,
Oh, man.
what are you doing? You know, oh my God. What was her saying? Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Oh, Jesus.
Get down, but go slow. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.